Welcome to the Veza Access Agent demo. Veza solves access permissions by creating an authorization graph that maps all human, machine, and AI identities to their specific entitlements across cloud and on-premise systems. Now we introduce an exciting new way of quickly finding and remediating risks in your environment through the power of AI prompting with natural language. In this demo, we will cover the three main agents: the Veza Access Search Agent, the Veza Prompt Agent, and the Veza Access Review Agent. Let's see what the Veza Access Search Agent does. You can type in your queries in natural language, such as, show me all AWS IAM users with S3 bucket access. The query gets routed and it creates a plan on how it's going to work on this. So the Access Search Agent is working on this right now. I'm just going to shift over to show you the final output. It's creating a plan, and then it shows you the progress, what's happening. It also shows you the final query language created. Now let's see how it looks in a graph. In this graph, you're able to see IAM users, the roles, the permissions, and finally the S3 bucket that all of these users have access to. Now, let's see how this progresses. If you want to figure out who has delete access in these S3 buckets, all you would do is enter a prompt such as, show me users with delete permission. Once again, it creates a plan figuring out who can delete it, and finally, you're able to see it in the graph. So in this case, these are the specific IAM users who have delete permissions for these S3 buckets. You could also go ahead and enter a query since you see that the user A. Clark has a 91 risk score. You would also enter a query like, what is the risk score? So in this case, the agent realizes it's a question where it has to look at the documentation of its assistant and provide you a knowledge-based answer about what this risk score means. That's our Veza prompt is able to figure out whether it has to respond back to you from the graph perspective or from a documentation perspective. Now let's continue forward and see what the user A. Clark can do. So in this case, my query is going to be, show me the buckets A. Clark has access to. So with this, it focuses only on A. Clark and what type of access or permission the user has on S3 buckets. You were able to see that in each of the queries which I provided, it was able to maintain the context from the previous and continue forward. This was a quick demo of the Veza Search Agent and the Prompt Agent. Now, let's shift focus to the Veza Access Review Agent. In the Veza Access Review Agent, you'll go to the Access Review panel, and here you would once again invoke the Access AI, and it prompts you to click Summarize My Reviews. Let's say you click on Summarize My Reviews. It is creating a summary of all your reviews. Now the summary would look like this. You have 53 in progress reviews, where there are 7 which are completed. There are 20 which you need to look at based on your earliest due date. Now, let's say you want to enter into review for service accounts. Here you'll want to go ahead and click Help Me Complete This Review. You can already see some of them are approved, which I did in my previous review. When I click on Help Me Complete This Review, the Access Review Agent is creating a plan and coming back to you with a response on what it has found. So in the Help Me Create This Review report, it found that there are 127 total rows. There are 64 pending reviews because 62 have already been approved, and there are 47 cohorts to review. It also found out that there are 27 cohorts of orphaned accounts. There are 25 accounts with no business justification. There are privileged accounts without safeguards. There are service accounts. And the first cohort it is asking us to review is an orphaned Firebase service account with full storage permission, but there is no documented owner. Let's see what it's prompting us to do. So let's click on Show One Review. It's prompting us to reject this particular row because of the above mentioned reasons. You can see there is more reasoning mentioned with more details here. Now you can go ahead and reject this particular row, and you can provide a reason on why you're rejecting this. Now you can provide the next query, which is around all the cohorts you want to approve. And what makes it easier for you is you type in a prompt such as show me largest cohort. The Access Review Agent right now goes ahead and figures out there are 20 rows with similar conditions which can be approved. And it also shows you all the logical reasoning behind it. It says these are active service accounts with metadata read-only permissions on low-risk storage buckets, and they have minimal privilege. Let's see what these are. When you click on Show 20 Reviews, it shows you 20 accounts that need to be reviewed. You can either go one by one and click Approve based on your judgment. Since the Veza Access Review Agent has already done the job, you can go ahead and click on Approve these 20 rows, and you can provide a comment here of low risk. And now the Access Review Agent has completed the review. You see all of these turned into approved. And once it is completed, the Access Review Agent will proceed to see what it needs to do next. Essentially, the recommendation is that there is one more review which you need to do where you need to go and take action. This completes the demo of the Access Review Agent. To recap, in this entire demo, we saw 3 agents. These are the Veza Access Search Agent, then the Veza Prompt Agent, and finally the Veza Access Review Agent. Thank you.